can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Yeah, susceptible night before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible night before the moment flies.
What is going on, guys? What is going on? Welcome back in the building. Welcome back in the building for episode 97 of the Locked In Podcast. The Locked In Podcast, here we're your home for personal development tips, sports news, music, and much, much more. Guys, we are back, as I said, with episode 97, and it's tonight's episode of the Locked In Podcast. We're talking about something that's going to probably maybe rub some people the wrong way because of it's a very controversial thing, but it's very much trending at the moment. However, not the entire episode is going to be dedicated to the individual we're going to be talking about, but we're going to factor in kind of what this means for what happened to him. So tonight's topic, the ultimate topic of this episode, it's going to be social media censorship. We're going to talk about what shadowbanning is. And we're also going to talk about the man who has technically been shadow banned right now from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, the one and only Andrew Tate. Guys, it's the big trending topic. If you don't know who Andrew Tate is, you will after tonight, but I'm sure you've probably heard of him. I want to give you guys a fun fact, actually. Andrew Tate was searched up more in the month of August than Donald Trump and Kim Kardashian combined. And that's facts. Like he was searched, he was searched for more than Kim Kardashian and Donald Trump combined. So let me just drop that statistic there for you guys, because that's just realistic. If you look at the statistics, that's what it has occurred. It's honestly crazy. There's been a rise and fall of Andrew Tate. So even before we hop into the intro, I'm sure me and George can agree on some things here. So while I definitely don't agree on every single thing that Andrew Tate's premise, every single thing that he said, there are some things that I think get taken out of context, and I do believe that Andrew does a lot of his things to get reactions. While I believe he believes in a lot of the stuff he says, I also believe he does a lot of it as a social media influencer to say things that are going to rub people the wrong way. He gets labeled misogynistic.
Get labels, get more views.
Yeah, that's the main that is the main reason why he was taking down social media. Before we'll play the intro and get into the actual content, but the main reason he was taken down is he was considered a danger to the general public because of his aggressive nature, and I guess the way he presents things and how his views is what they say. They say they label him as very misogynistic. Now, I'm not agreeing with every single thing he says, but I don't think he always believes everything he says as well. I think a lot of it can just be to rile people up, but I do believe he has a certain premise,
he rouses them.
Belief system. If you guys don't know what, yeah, can you hear me? If you guys don't know what red pill is, you will know a little bit about it after tonight. But essentially, Andrew Tate is known as red pill. It's like I'll explain it in a little bit, but he's red pill aware. He gets labeled misogynistic, but it's a very controversial topic right now. I'm interested to hop into. George, what are your thoughts before we hop into the intro here? Andrew Tate, I know you know a little bit about him as well as a former kickboxer.
Yeah. I did some research on him. I mean, I knew about Andrew Tate. It's so funny because real quick. So when you first told me about him a while back, it was another MMA fighter with the name, I think, Fletcher Tate. He was like Australian, and he was like big in like the whole martial arts thing, and I was confusing it. But it's actually Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate doesn't know started as a fighter. Was I believe he's a British. Is he British guy, bro? Is he British or Australian? What is he, British or not? He sounds like he's British.
Yeah, he is.
He's gotta be. Yeah, he's gotta be. Anyway, so he started out as a kickboxing champ, right? Had a little bit of a career, made fun, that. And then he said like sometimes he struggled to pay bills because I mean, all of it may or may not know. Most of the money in combat sports in the fighting world and the prize fighting and all, it's mostly in boxing and MMA, like UFC and all that, or the bigger sort of leagues. Kickboxing, not as much money, but it's still a hell of a sport. He said he made some money on that. Then eventually he said he got into the whole webcam thing, and it was all about kind of by chance. He said he got into the dynamics world of like women and men and the whole dating thing, the dating, sort of like world dating guru position, or we could call it what I was looking for. Kind of like that whole red pill content, or the whole like relationship, sort of like promoter, influencer. You could call them that on a Facebook and IG. And by the way, there's a lot of other guys, guys like, of course, we mentioned, rest in peace with OG Kevin Samuels, FML Strategies, which we call them all for Virginia. It's an kind of an inside joke, but all these guys are similar. But Andrew Tate is a little different because he has different businesses, and although he's similar to those guys, he does a little different angle, like approach. And he even said in a podcast I was listening to like the other day that he even thought at one point of like he see like what they're doing, they see nothing wrong with girls with their with their top off, whatever, all that, and they're just getting paid. And he said that like people were more bothered than the girls actually were. So people look at him like he was being like do something wrong, like almost like a decent kind of a digital creative type of pimp in a playful way, of course. But he's like people are getting the wrong idea, getting mad at me. He said, but I was just kind of like doing what I was doing. And he said that I thought about possibly if I these girls can I make money of like let them do what they want to do, maybe like strip or something. And he's like, well, to have a strip, you have money. So he got into this kind of stuff like the webcam, eventually leading them with the whole, I guess, the deal that he had. He had like Spotify, he put his his platform, of course, Facebook and YouTube, mostly IG though, but I would say YouTube because that's where everybody's at. So yeah, I mean, I didn't know his channel, and you're kind of one of these guys, first guys to tell me about him, Steve, although I heard of him before, but you kind of like put me on a little more. Did some research, and yeah, I mean, Andrew Tate seems to me like very informative guy. Make some excellent points. Again, like you, do I agree with what he says? No. Do I see his angle point of view? Yes. Does he speak the truth and tell stuff that needs to be heard? Yes. But of course, the world's not ready for that. And we live in a world where they want to change that. They want to make the truth their own truth. They want to say that guys like guys like me and you, regular guys that do their job, maybe we're not so regular, but we go to work, we go to the gym, we're trying to emphasize and attract the abundant lifestyle. I want to be very careful what I say today. I want to be very careful how I word things. I don't want to say things.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like they're worded different. I want to word them a certain way to fit exactly how we, how we do and how we are.
My whole thing to it is it's not like we're big Andrew Tate like fanatics or anything like that. But my whole thing is the premise of this is censorship on social media. And at the end of the day, we're supposed to have freedom of speech. That's our amendment. That's our right here. The first amendment, we're freedom of speech in this country. The one thing is, people want to dictate, I feel, a narrative of certain things. I don't want to go too political with this either because I'm not like super left or super right on either end of it, to be honest. Like I think both sides can be crazy. But I honestly think that a lot of this stuff they do say, like a lot of the people. We live in a culture where everybody's offended by everything. At the end of the day, I think that a lot of this stuff is, the way they worded it was they said he was damaging to people. Like, here's the thing. I think like if you don't like his content, just turn it off. But they're worried that like people are going to I guess become a certain way from listening to him. So the only way, like you could misinterpret anything somebody says. It all depends on your state of mind and how mature you really are. So I think what they worried about was that a lot of his followers were younger, and that a lot of his messages were going to get taken the wrong way. And the problem is that we live in a country where we're literally told that this is supposed to be like the freest country on earth. And I mean, I will say he lives in Romania. So like this is actually a worldwide thing where they shut it down. But we live, I guess, because we're based out of the United States. So we live in an area where freedom of speech is a big thing. But people are just canceling people left and right now. And I think that this has really become a big thing. Is that like when you don't like something, they'll just go sign a petition. The reason I think he was shut down is there was a big petition and somebody went out that didn't like him and had this big petition signed. And people just think like, oh, when they don't like something, I'm going to go have it canceled. And I think that's the bigger picture here. That's one thing we have to worry about, because if you get on the wrong side of things, if you say something the wrong way, you have to worry now. Like if people are going to try to cancel you, it's kind of crazy. Like I feel like realistically, I'm not like this is just me. I think we've become very soft. I really do. I think the society has become very very soft. That is my personal take on it, and that's my stance. Is that I think a lot of this is crazy. Do I like I said? Do I agree with everything that Andrew Tate says? No, I don't. But I think the bigger picture is that they're just canceling people. There was another guy too. He was on Fresh and Fit podcast, and his name's Sneeko. So he's not banned on YouTube, but he's banned on Instagram. He's technically shadow banned. So shadow banned is like when you're removed from all I'll break down the actual definition of it, but shadow banned essentially it means that you like Instagram completely removed Andrew Tate. TikTok did the same. That's technically shadow banning. Like you're just censored, you're blocked out. You can't create an account. You're banned. You're banned, and you're banned to the shadows. Like
let me ask you a question.
You're no longer a figure.
Right. I understand what you're saying, but if you make an account like a fake account, you still banned. I mean, they'll still. What if he puts like a fake name?
I don't know how that.
They
works.
might do a facial recognition. I told you about this, bro. IG runs the world, bro. IG, man, listen, dog. I can't even talk about his platform. He's just too real. I told you in the past, but let's just say I had a vision. I was in a different state of mind. I was somewhere else. I wasn't quite here in a different reality and had a vision. And IG was just like, it's so funny because before like that day, that experience, maybe like a week before that, me and my ex-girlfriend, you know what I'm talking about because you know exactly who she is, you know her personally and everything. She told me to go to the zoo, went to the zoo, right? And then whatever I did that week, it's like everything kind of came back, but almost like a dream. It's like I had a dream, and on IG it was like basically like, yo, you spent too much time here, but this controls the world. And I was like, I seen it from a different perspective. It's almost like I was mesmerized, like a voice was telling me this, but it was like in a dream, and it was like, and I don't know where the hell I was at, bro, but clearly my dream mind, I was somewhere else, like on the moon or something like that, and he showed like exactly what I was thinking in my own thought, which is scary. Whatever I was thinking, I thought about in the dream. Is like, you spend a lot of time on this, you always on this, your computer, your phone says you focus on IG more, everything's IG these days. So it was like kind of like it was basically like, you know what I mean, like kind of like me thinking like, yo, I'm on IG a little too much, you know, and I'm maybe like a vision of this, but it's true though. Like IG really has become like that, almost like a force, almost like an influence on the world. And not that Facebook has them, but I mean they're all in one category. But I'm like, it's powerful. It really shows you the power that IG has. I mean, you know, if you ever watch the Social Dilemma documentary, you would know. And this is people that work for these companies that are doing this. I mean, this is not like, you know, some secret stuff. It is secretive because, I mean, think about it. It works for IG. Those professionals, you never know. You never know if they even have IG. Think about it. Do you follow anybody that actually works for Instagram on your followers list? See, that's something to think about. Probably not. You probably won't find those guys. They're just, but Google, IG, or the search engines, bro, all the internet's all connected in some kind of way. And not to say like that, but you know, two guys that sold the board, the created IG back in 2012. IG is only 10 years old, for those that don't know, since we're talking about Instagram right now. Yeah. Well, those guys sell, I mean, Facebook bought IG, I believe, 2015, I want to say was, or 2016 maybe? 2016. Exactly. And big years, bro, like, you know, a big year that all happened, like crucial moments that people don't realize how much IG and Facebook got merged.
It's crazy how much they've grown. And one of the big things that is getting canceled right now, I was referring to earlier, is red pill content.
Essentially, canceled everywhere.
Essentially, red pill content in a nutshell. What it is it's like a lot of men out there believe that, you know, it's not worth it to marry a woman. Like so this is just, they believe that their life is just about acquiring assets, building their, like, on their purpose, building their life, but at the end, they never want to actually settle down into a marriage because they think it's a bad investment for the man. Yeah. So here's the thing.
They're
like,
skeptical in marriage.
That's just their view. So I'm like, not every man has to be like that, but that's just
no right or wrong. I mean, it's how they feel, you know.
That's how the red pill community is.
What we do, Josh.
That's what it is in a nutshell. So a lot of red pill content is getting shut down. Like Kevin Samuels, they wanted to cancel him for a while. Kevin Samuels' book, before he passed away, they wanted to try to cancel him. That's why so many people. There were a lot of women that were very happy when he got shut down and canceled. I firmly believe that Kevin Samuels' main message behind his points was that he actually was really trying to bring more black marriages together. Even though the way he said things, a lot of people thought because they would think he put down women and different other things. That's how I kind of saw it. And a lot of people would post clips, but they wouldn't actually watch like a full episode. And I don't think that that's fair. If you don't actually watch a full show, or you've never seen like full episodes of things, I think it's like when you're gathering evidence on something, right? I think that you should realistically watch the full thing to be able to
watch
see
the full episode. Don't watch clips and just make up an opinion.
Don't watch
this is that.
yeah, people pull things to reels and they have it to fit their narrative, right? A certain way. And
Fit narratives all the time.
yeah, there were a lot of women that actually, like, believe it or not, did respect Kevin Samuels too.
Of course.
Like,
I know personally women actually like Corey Wayne.
Yeah. Well, Corey Wayne's another story. He's on the
He's a different example. He's not as out there. He's more like, quote unquote, he follows the rules more like a good boy. They want you to be a good boy, right? Not a high value man. They want you to be a good boy.
I'll break down the rules for you. So I mean, not the rules, the different pills for you. So you got blue pill. Blue pill is like essentially men who, they like to throw that term around, right? Beta male men who like don't know. I don't like to use the words beta or alpha personally. I think it's kind of way overplayed. I think it's a bunch of clown stuff. A lot of guys are walking around calling themselves alpha males when they don't even know what the fuck the word means. I mean, let's be realistic. And then they're pointing and calling this guy beta and this guy beta. It's like, all right, like I think it's kind of ridiculous. Like it's just people throw those words around. Those words have been around forever, but they really have gotten thrown around in the last 10 years.
Well, it got worse now, but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Anyway, my point is like blue pill is considered men who are not, I guess, female nature aware. So a lot of them, they're like the super nice guys who are like people pleasers in a way. It's considered blue pill. Purple pill is like men who are female aware, but they're not on the red pill sector. Where red pill, they understand female nature, I guess, to an extent, but they don't want to get married. Purple pill is the opposite. It's like they do understand it, but they do want to get married. They do want to have a family. They do want to. So I guess red pill men can still have kids and have offspring, but they're not actually looking to settle down and get married. They think it's a bad contract, or a bad, I guess how they want to say it is a contract. That's how they would probably refer to
the situation. A bad.
There's other things.
Let's be real. Let's talk frankly. Let's call a spade for what it is. A lot of men think the marriage is a setup, and that's what it is. That's how they think it. I'm not saying that that's what it really is, but this is what it is in their perspective.
And you know what?
Because the divorce rates are bigger, because they see what's going on. I feel like the world doesn't seem there. Even Andrew Tate explained how it's disrespectful. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to be serious with this, you don't gotta in no way disrespect women and all that. But it's not double standards. I mean, I think they made a good point. When you're sleeping with a girl, whoever is your girl, your wife, if you're seeing another, and you hear a noise and a thief's in the house, who goes downstairs? The man or the woman? So
yeah, I remember Andrew and them they were talking about that on the one thing. We'll actually post some clips at the end of Andrew Tate that I have.
We can do some clips.
So you can check our social media and stuff.
We'll shut this episode down. You know how they are. They won't shut everything down regarding Andrew.
Yeah. That's the thing. So even though this is controversial, we still wanted to cover it. At the end of the day, like, we're not going to try to cover up anything or hide anything or try to be like, I don't want to say like too soft, but like avoid controversy. Because at the end of the day, this is a platform. This is something that's big time trending. This happened last week, where he was shut down. This is about a week ago, to be honest. I think it would actually maybe last Friday, or maybe it was. It was last Friday.
Sorry about that, but yeah.
Friday,
because the internet is going crazy, by the way, on Andrew Tate. They're talking a lot about him, so I was like, he's trending like way more than he ever was, but for the wrong reasons, because they want to seem like, oh, he got canceled, he's banned. In reality, plenty of people are kind of caping for him. I'm not saying that we are, even though we probably like his content, but we're just kind of bringing it here. We just need to address that, and then we'll let the audience decide, what they want to believe or how they see it, just like the Kevin Samuels, like that video, we just kind of like mentioned it. We didn't really make a whole episode on that one, but we talked about it. And of course, a lot of people wouldn't be, happy. They'll be like, oh, I don't want to, hear about this or whatever. A lot of people that didn't like him, a lot of women that weren't into it, but a lot of women understood Kevin Samuels and spoke the facts. And although they would be like, okay, he's going a little too much, I can agree too. I didn't like everything he said and some stuff I wasn't agreeing with like that, but I don't see no wrong with saying. He said, "Man, they responsibly." What's so wrong about that? He said,
I think Andrew Tate's more aggressive. Andrew Tate's more aggressive than Kevin Samuels is. Yeah, that's why, like, Kevin Samuels, he was aggressive, but he was very, I don't know, like, you can tell.
Andrew Tate just tells like it is. He just doesn't like. I never seen. The thing is, we never seen him interact with the girls. Like, be like, what would you say? Oh, how you think? Oh, do you think I am? Guess. He's like, shut your ass up, and he just click. He just let's get the fuck out of here real quick. Like, I never seen Andrew do that. Whereas Kevin Samuels did that, and some guys, some radio hosts, some DJs, some podcasters, I like that. Star is from Star and Buckwild. He calls the show. He'd be like, Serge, watch the video. He'd be like, Sir, don't bring me down. All right, let's get him the fuck out of here. Like, the way he just like cuts off and just destroys lame ass dudes and cats, it's hilarious. But then Star is also known as the hater. I mean, he's on another level. I spoke to him on the phone, and he tried to get me a little bit in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? Next time I see Star, if I ever see him, I'll probably get a picture of him. I'll shake his hand. I'll probably just tie his hand a little bit. Oh, remember that shit? Try to show me online, eh? But, at the same time, He did say God bless you. He said God bless all Albanian people. He even showed me up Albania. I'm cool, He might have tried to pick me a little bit, do a little, poke me a little bit, and throw me a little right there on air. But then he ended the conversation well. He said, I got a respect for you, your folks, He said, God bless you and all Albanian people. He should have said it. So I was like, all right, all good, I was like, I don't gotta, worry about, next time I see this fucker, be like, yo, nigga, you come to Philly at 5, right? I'll see you. It didn't have to be like this, all good, because even though he troll me, he still give me respect. So I kind of killed him with kindness. But what you're gonna do? Argue on a show? He could mute your voice and play you, basically. And that's what Kevin Samuels did, except he never played nobody. Kevin Samuels said, you listen, you got 2 seconds to answer the question. You don't, all right, see you. Next. And then he actually let the girls call him. So he was okay. He wasn't trying to hide. He wasn't trying to like say a bunch of garbage and then be like, oh, you say cap. He was honest. He would say what he said, and then he would bring facts, and he would try, talk to girls a certain way. Some people just didn't get it. A lot of, men and women just felt he was too rude or too ignorant, too vulgar. I don't know.
Who's that?
Started Kevin Samuels. I think Starry's way more vulgar than Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, no, it's but going to the whole Andrew Tate thing, I think this is honestly, unfortunately, just the tip of the iceberg. No, I think it's the tip of the iceberg when it comes to censorship. I think that like this is unfortunately going to be how we're looked at now. Like you see how guys like Zuckerberg and like the people who run these platforms, they want to control what you see. So like if it's something else that fits their narrative, they don't like the way they don't like making, I feel like, men aware of a lot of things. Like you see how
they don't keep men where they are.
Content. Yeah, no, Marius actually brings a great point. I know Marius knows a lot about Andrew Tate. So Marius said Andrew Tate was shut down because he told the truth about intersexual dynamics between men and women. Yeah, no, he did, and that's the thing. He was making a lot of men aware. And unfortunately, the reality of that is because of how that gets seen. Guess what they do? They throw the misogynistic card at him, and they throw all these other things.
Yeah, very easy to say. People that say that, bro, people like always like cry wolf and cry the race card. Oh, he's this. Right away, label him a misogynist.
Let me say this.
So fast.
But let me say this. Like my whole thing on it is, it's even though he gets the misogynistic card, a lot of people might not agree with me, but I'm gonna be honest. Like it was making a lot of men aware. So you can't control if somebody takes things out of context. I understand like that they were worried about how certain people are going to take things, but that's with any platform. I feel like with anything somebody says, if there's a woman who's empowering, like what do we say? Megan Thee Stallion, right? This is always a great point. Megan Thee Stallion and what was it? Cardi B when they had what was it? WAP. Like how are women going to look at you? Know what I'm saying? But that's not going to get canceled. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not going to get shut down.
Never.
You see what I'm saying? And how do you think like certain women are going to look at that and take that?
Yo,
you see what I'm saying?
Hear something about that song real quick? Hang on. It's not so fast. Let's stay right in the song. WAP. How about I heard from a good source, and he said source that apparently her own husband, Offset. I think they're still married, but this is at the time of 2 years ago. Whenever
I don't want to dive too much into it.
Yeah, he said that he told Cardi, okay, maybe you should tune up the lyrics a little, just tone them down a little bit, this and that. Even he said it to her. The lyrics were like, she said, tie me up like I'm some kind of prize. I'm like, geez, yo, like
my whole thing on it is like if you want to have that side of it, cool, but like it's there needs to be a fully well-rounded platform where everybody can kind of say what they say. A lot of people, they don't like Marius said it perfectly though. He's honestly, he told the truth about intersexual dynamics between men and women, and a lot of people, they did not like that. I feel like anytime something woke comes about, like they want to cancel things, and I think it's just the tip of the iceberg of the shit we're going to be saying. Like I said,
in other words,
if you don't know,
I gotta be very careful because we're new too. In other words, you say anything that is halfway truth, but doesn't appeal to the wussies, you get canceled. Because I've seen on Facebook. I mean, like who goes to Facebook jail for real? You go to Facebook jail for what? For speaking something that's not even offensive. Oh, you're in jail now. Like who makes these rules? That's why, man. It's all good, man. Half this shit's a joke anyway to me, so I don't matter. I could live with the world how it was in the 90s and 2000s back in the day. Like my man Tony Ayo said on a famous interview with Vlad, he said back then there was magazines and all that. It was more word of mouth to go and do kind of promote yourself. Now it's like with IG and everything else, like you could be there doing a recording on a session. Back then it was like you'd go to some OG and spit for him and be like, yo, I like your bars. What you got going on? Oh, I got a mixtape. When does it come out? Oh, it comes out next month. Now there is no, when your mixtapes come out, you just see on a story. Say you're a rapper, Steve Hustler, you're Steve Hustler, the rapper. And he says, your mixtape comes up and you have it on IG already. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. It was more word of mouth. The communications were different, So, I mean, obviously, YouTube and Facebook, as important as they are, you can get canceled, but why get canceled, though? Now, if you're an asshole and you deserve to get canceled, then by all means, get canceled. but and we spoke about
Yeah,
this a
no.
few weeks ago on
So-
cancel culture in January. There's always existed cancel culture.
Yeah,
Just
so
that
Bill-
now it's bigger.
Yeah, Bill said so. Andrew Tate has been saying this stuff for years. I think the recent allegations against him were got him canceled. Yeah, so there's allegations out there, and honestly, there was a lot of it that was proven
fake
false.
or
Marius
real?
can actually probably elaborate on this. There was a lot of it that was actually proved that it wasn't true. So yeah, no, the cancels were. I mean, the accusations were very, very extreme. So what they were was so obviously it's not something to be taken lightly when you hear it, right? So he lives in Romania, and they were saying that he was involved in a sex trafficking ring, and that's not something to be taken lightly at all. It's it's
Oh yeah, he does live in Romania. Yo, real quick though, why does he live in Romania? I don't get it. He's a British guy. Why does he live in Romania of all countries?
Because he just decides to. He said he doesn't want to live in the United States because his view of women here is just like he said like women here are just too. I guess he wants like a traditional woman, and his whole view is like women in this country is very hard to find. It's not traditional.
Did you see
And
what he said though?
that's his view though. Here's the thing, like if he wants to live like that, cool. That's what he said. He's like, you don't have to be with me. Like at the end of the day, like the women that are with him, like, are with them under their own choice. So like there was allegations that he was involved in a sex trafficking ring. From what all the research that I've looked into and done, and Marius can probably elaborate on this as well. From what I saw, the woman was messing with him. And what happened was her man caught him. So she was cheating on her man. I don't know if it was her husband or her boyfriend or fiance, but she was cheating on him with Andrew Tate. And what happened was he found out. So to cover it up, she tried to say that he forced himself upon her, and then it came out a whole thing that he was involved in a sex trafficking ring. At least from my research, if I'm wrong on anything, please correct me.
So he was accused, but it was a girl accused. Yeah, but see, here's the thing though, real quick, and most people might not know this. You might not even know this, but you know where he lives, right? Romania. Here's the thing. They set him up because, I mean, I'm not saying that he may or may not be guilty. I mean, I don't know. You're saying that, there's evidence he might not be, but look, in Romania, bro, it's huge out there. Like, I mean, obviously, like the culture and all the cocaine is big out there, the drugs, and the sex trade there is ridiculous. All that being dudes there that trafficate, the girls all over the world, bro, and they take them to like France, like the movie fucking Taken. Where do they get them from? Romania, dog. Romania, Moldova. That's where they all go. Because they set them up, they trick those young girls, and they fucking exploit them. It's so fucked up, but they tell them, you go do a better life, come here, and they extradite them to other countries. Once in Italy, in France, in Germany, in the Western countries, even America, it's a wrap. They'll promise him a job, this guy, and then it's like the father of that girl will go out there and probably kill this guy or kill the pimp. Problem is, I don't know who the fucking guy is, the pimp, because the guy will get her from a country, pretend to get her a job, and sell her out somewhere. And then the traffickers, the pimps, the garbage makers. Yes. All that shit is filth, bro. They're all criminals and pimps and gangsters, and that's what they do. They just prostitution rings, all kinds of illegal things. I'm not saying that Andrew Tate did none of that. I mean, I have no idea that he did. I knew about the allegation. I just didn't really know that, that was about that exactly. But maybe they kind of tie two together. Like, you know what? He's already, they want to consider him to be this bad person, demonize him. He's a misogynist. Oh, the allegations right away. It's almost like he's guilty to proven innocent because of Andrew Tate. Same thing with any other guys that are controversial. People are looking to fuck with them. So when something comes up, it comes up,
Yeah, anybody can write articles about it. Yeah, no, it's crazy. And if you Google it, there are going to be a lot of articles on saying that he was like human trafficking and stuff. You got to.
And they'll also fake articles. Let's not go by what the articles say. They're going to want to love to.
No, you can't articles. Say. You got to actually look into it. You got to actually listen to his stuff. Yeah. You said you love him or hate him. He's got millions. He's got millions talking about him, just like everything else, innocent until proven guilty. Absolutely, that's the one thing. It's like we can't always you can't always believe everything you see. I'm not saying that human trafficking should not be taken lightly, but the thing about it is like anybody can I can make a false accusation and say, George, you're a human trafficker. You know what I mean? Like anybody can say anything.
You look like an allegation. What is a credible source?
Yeah, it hasn't been proven that he's done that. That's the thing. Like you can't just. I feel like just because you paint a picture of something, it's like because there's no proof on that though. That's the thing. Like, and that's the saying is innocent until proven guilty. I think that's kind of crazy. It's not that things shouldn't be taken lightly, but people like to just spread something and then they go, "Oh, he looks like a misogynistic douchebag. I can see how he would do that." You see what I'm saying? Because they paint an image in their head of somebody.
Yeah, and they want to believe that.
And they're like, "Oh, he sounds like." He sounds like a douche. I could see him doing that. You see what I'm saying? They paint pictures in their head. That's the problem.
Bro, let's keep it real, bro. They spread false narratives. And
if he did do that, he is a scumbag. But I'm saying, like, you can't just always believe what you see.
Well, you don't know that until you read proven. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's done nothing to be a scumbag. Now, if he did do the prostitution ring, then it's a different story. Then he's a really bad person. To me, a guy got a lot of money. I just don't see why you need to do that. In Romania, I mean, you get caught out there too. It's easier than here because the rules are different. I mean, Romania is like near Albania. It's very, it's a little bit of a lawless land, and people do the shit all the time. But there is rules and there's laws and they will catch you. It's just
And
that.
Yeah,
Oh, Mary got some info. Hold on, some info for Mary.
Yeah, no, I just want to give. I'll go back to Marius just real quick. I just want to say that was my man Todd that dropped that comment. So thanks, Todd, for commenting in. And Marius, of course, I know he's got a lot of knowledge of this. So he said somebody contacted the American embassy in Romania, stating that he was holding women hostage. Police showed up and questioned everyone in the house. Andrew explained to police no one was being held hostage. Like, allowed them to look at. Yeah, it's.
He said it. He said you gotta evoke some kind of emotion in the girl. He kept money, said, but it's not even gonna make her happy. I mean, it's kind of true to an extent, and I get what he's saying. Like, how we always think that, if you don't got money, you ain't shit to her. Like, we talked about it earlier. Apparently, Kardemi's like, he can still be, like, not necessarily broke or like on some bummy shit, but not, just the guy that's trying to get it together, up and comer, doesn't have much going on, just like a regular job, and still basically date a lot of women, sleep with a lot of women because of stuff like this, because he's gotta evoke a lot of emotion in them. So he made some good points. But that's not the only reason why they were trying to cancel him, obviously. I mean, again, plenty of the guys they tried to cancel Joe Rogan. What happened to that? Nothing. He's still back in. What they do? They ate a fat one. Ain't nobody gonna cancel Joe Rogan. Get the fuck out of here. You have Fat Joe talking about put hands on Joe Rogan. Fat Joe, please put hands on Joe Rogan so we can see you get embarrassed in real life, man. Joe Rogan will take Fat Joe out and have to tear squad one kick, man. You better get a gun and blow that man's, Rocky snot box off, Fat Joe. I'm just saying, man, you got nothing to do. You have no business trying to go at another Joe. Fat Joe, Joe Rogan. Come on, the battle of Joes. Just get along. That's the name brothers, But they try to cancel everybody. I mean, they try to cancel everybody.
George, I even tried to cancel you last year. Now I'm just playing.
They did. They tried to cancel me this year too, bro. But yeah, last year they tried to cancel me. Steve, they tried to cancel me 5 times between 2018 and 2021. After last year, I've been good lately. They haven't tried to cancel me anymore, but it's always
staying on the
spot. Hey, you know what's so funny? Somebody snitched to me though about me. Trying to contact this guy I was kind of working for. I was basically independent contractor with him. I did some work for him, my uncle, but he let me take care of it because I know how to do it. Me and my boy went out there, did some roofing and all. Somebody contacted him talking about this guy. He's talking reckless about women, disrespecting everybody. And I think I know who it is too. I was like, I have to block some people. Like, all right, you want to play games like that? How about I know your name, I know your list, I know your birthday. How about I go to my folks, I ain't gonna talk about here, and I get you ordered, and I can check you out, and I'll start some stuff on you. You want to play that game? Your numbers are there. It was a female. I had her name, last name, and I even no, she lives. So yeah, you know, play games with G Money. Play games if you want to.
Yeah,
I didn't have to get canceled. I'm cool.
Yeah, so Marius followed up. He said he went down to the police station, was never charged. Andrew explained in an interview to Fox News. Yeah, he actually. So that's actually another good point. As I actually forgot to mention that Andrew was actually just recently on he was on Fox News. He did an interview, and he was a victim of swatting. Yeah, so it's crazy. It's crazy, like where we've come now. But I know Marius.
See, he was a victim. It's like you can tell they're looking for dirt on his man. But isn't it obvious, bro? It's always been like that. Like Marius, our boy here, who just wrote here. Somebody said G Money. So if you know, like Marius is saying, yo, if they want to get you, they'll get you, bro. The government will shut you down if they want to. Whether you're on a website.
I also want to break down what swatting is for anybody who doesn't know. Swatting, all it is it's an emergency. It's an emergency services prank call. Ultimately, it's gonna dispatch like a large number of people. It's a prank call. It's an emergency services prank call. It's like you prank call 911. It's a swatting call. You see what I'm saying? That's
it's
all.
It's a false alarm call. Like you say, yo, there's domestic threat, domestic terrorism. You make a phone call, an anonymous call, and you could probably, play around. But don't kids always call the police and fuck around anyway? I mean, who hasn't got prank called? Like.
Yeah, well, that's swatting. It's essentially, even if you're a kid, that's the definition for it. It's a false alarm. You're essentially calling. Yeah, but I want to break down a little bit about Andrew. So we've actually talked censorship, I know, before on this podcast. I forget what episode it was, but we did talk censorship. So Andrew Tate, George, you probably know he's a former professional kickboxer. What he ultimately did was he frequently, a lot of people, obviously don't like him because they think he makes misogynistic comments to women online. And yeah, he's made his money too. He's I believe Andrew's either 34 or 35. But he's gained a lot of mainstream media attention. He was actually
35, so he's like a year older than me.
Yeah, and I think he was on. I think where his start of fame came. He appeared actually on the TV show Big Brother. I think it was back in 2016, I believe, and that was kind of where his like fame kind of that's kind of where he started like going viral. I think right after that. So Bill is right. He's been saying a lot of this stuff for years. This has been going on for a little while, and but here's the one thing that I will say: he's gained more mainstream media attention over the years. The fact that he was Googled more than Donald Trump and Kim Kardashian combined in August, I think was worrisome. While it could have been the allegations of the stuff that went
The
on,
meetings are crazy. His name is like ringing bells all over the world.
I will say, I think he was gaining a lot of attention, and they didn't like that. They're like, "Oh, we're going to shut him down." He said Manny said if they can cancel Tate, they can cancel G.
Yeah, they try to cancel you, but I don't get canceled easy, bro. I'm crazy than Tate, so
Yeah, technically,
come back some kind of way.
Technically, if us putting something out like this, if we ever got to the level, we got 1 million subscribers, we would be at risk of being canceled. I figured
just for talking about Andrew Tate.
We're small right now, but like if we were ever at that level, if we ever were at that level, say we were at it like 100,000 subscribers right now on this channel, and we're talking about this, we would honestly risk being canceled. But here's the thing: I'm never going to withhold the truth and controversy and stuff like that. That's one thing, is I'm always going to be transparent on this podcast. I don't care if that risks that, to be honest. Like at the end of the day, we always said that. That's what we stand for here. I'm not gonna like not talk about controversial things just because you're gonna be risk of doing something, getting shut down or something. Like, no. You gotta be true to yourself. You need to literally just be true to everybody else too. You have to literally, these things need to be talked about. Here and there.
Yeah, people don't avoid these conversations though.
Talk about it. Yeah, so when you guys request things, we'll talk about it. We're not niche focused here as of right now, unless we ever rebrand the podcast. But as of right now, we'll talk about anything that's anything you guys really want to talk about. Obviously within limits,
Well, there's got to be a limit, bro. But I think the whole point of this show, at least today for this episode, is when is the kind of enough? And again, the limits of YouTube and social media, what you can talk about. And to be fair, we never really tackled those stuff like the technicalities, all the mechanical stuff of social. Hang on a second, of social media. There's so much that happens. I mean, we don't know everything. And what video? You might see this video, be like, "Yo, these guys, well, they ain't worth nothing. We don't care about them." But there's stuff we don't like. A year from now, it could be more grown. Grow up. The podcast could go up, more, and then it could be like, well, they said stuff that we didn't really agree, and they should cancel them. But in reality, we kept it pretty fair here, fair use. I mean, disclaimers all the time. Yeah, we were flagged once for some copyright music, but it wasn't really nothing controversial.
Quick thing, George. Bill, check your DMs. I just the link. If you could call in real quick, send them a stream. If anybody wants to call in, just let me know. I'll send you guys the link via DM. We're not gonna put it in the stream because you never know. There could be trolls, watching and try to call in or something like that. But if any of you guys want to call in for whatever reason, just do what Bill did. Drop it in the chat, or send me a text or me a DM, and I have everything up right now. So if you guys want to come in.
We're gonna have to kind of do this way. But if somebody does, prank call us, when we're a little larger, bro, what we do is let the fans handle it. Be like, "Oh yeah, I got the action." He says exactly where you call from. He says your number. And just think of the trolls. They'll take care of them. You gotta have trolls to help you out. Troll the real trolls. Like the prankers and the trolls. You gotta have people that like good people. They're not really trolls, but if somebody does prank call, mess up the show, or something stupid, messed up, like remember the time with that dude, a really disturbing name? Oh yeah, you want to play games? All right, here we go. And you tell your fans we're watching. Everybody to how this guy now just prank call him. Problem is, some people that prank call sometimes, bro, or prank sorry comments. What do you call it? They're not just like phishing, but isn't a name for it? They're like fake accounts. They're not really people. It's just almost like they're generated through through like a fake account. It could be like a bunch of spams. It's like a spam, not actually an actual person. Although it could be a person too behind fucking around, trying to write some negative things, troll. But sometimes if you talk about it's not actually people. It's almost like they generate a fake comment through the thing generates it. So it's like a bunch of BS. Somebody might say you guys are corny. You can write that, but it's not always an actual account. Although it could be an account too, And if they call in and they try to be stupid, well then that's what you just flame them. But we fired them, But like I said, man, if you don't got no haters, you're not really popping. So we had some spams in the past here, you seen them, Steve. We just blocked them really good. But at the end of the day, man, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. We want to stick to the script and what we're talking about. And the main topic is Andrew Tate, is censorship, but it's more than just Andrew Tate. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a few things I'll talk about, maybe in a little bit. There's actually another thing, something really disturbing I saw, online. Via My Son the General. Salute to My Son the General. For anybody who doesn't know who that is, he's a big time rapper who's now an activist. Come on, you guys gotta know who that is. If you don't know who My Son is, you probably Haven't watched nothing on the news. Or IG. He's got a present IG. People know my son. There goes Bill. Yep.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
There he is. Welcome in. Look who it is.
Hey.
There he is.
There he is.
What's going on?
Look who it is.
Oh, let me sneak into some
Welcome
logic.
to the stream.
What's going on?
Look who it is.
Oh,
Look at here, man.
some logic.
To the stream.
Oh, wait a second.
Look at here, man.
Somebody's echoing. Can somebody?
Yeah, no, I forgot I had the podcast open. I had to close it in YouTube. I didn't think I'd be able to hear
Oh,
myself.
good, bro. There you are. What's up, Bill?
Oh, yeah, no, not much. So I just wanted to do a quick chime in just because it was too much to type.
Yeah. You can hang out, but you can hang out a little bit if you want. You got some time. Nobody's thinking
I'll
like
hang out
you.
for like 5 minutes. This is your guys. So kind of like to like touch on what you said. Like I totally agree. There is a point where some people are getting away with some things. And there was a huge controversy with Nicki Minaj when she came out and admitted that she drugged a whole bunch of dudes and stole their shit.
No, not Nicki Minaj. Hang on.
Cardi
B.
Cardi B, not Nicki Minaj. Cardi B.
Yep.
And stole her shit. But she's still one of the most popular musicians today. Never didn't get anything. It was a whole bunch of cheering on and high fives after that.
Yeah.
It's a little weird in that regard. Now, when it comes to censorship, I don't believe in censorship at any point. But I also believe in innocent until proven guilty. But a sex trafficking allegation is a tough one because when you have a platform like Andrew Tate where he says some of the things that he does, and he has a lot of young impressionable viewers, and also I see him someone who preys on people because Steve, you said people use those alpha and beta terms. He preys on people who look at those terms simply in black and white and say, I need to make sure I'm in this tier, because they have like this deep insecurity, and he plays upon that, which he does what he does. People do that all the time, but he preys upon that. But when he says some of the things that he does and he has an allegation like that, whereas a lot of his viewers are so young and impressionable, I could see why they'd want to cancel him, or at least silence him real quick until everything got sorted out. Now, once everything gets sorted out, I'm not going to, BS. I'm not staying up on the case. Andrew Tate's the last thing on my mind throughout the day.
Right.
But I'm not really cropping up. And I think that had a huge. When you have an allegation like that and you say some of the things that you say, I totally get why you want to quiet them down real quick. That's a risky thing to have on your platform, because they're not looking at it. Because keep in mind, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, they're businesses, and I think Ben Franklin said it. Democracy is tyranny by the many. So if a large majority of people don't like this person, and all of a sudden he has this major allegation against them, they're gonna silence him pretty quick. At the end, because at the end of the day, these industries, they're not looking out for us. They're not saying, oh my God, we need to quiet this guy down because he's going to cause danger. No, they're going to quiet him down because they want to make sure their pockets don't get cut.
They'll sit him down. Like they sit down Joe Rogan and everybody else.
Yeah. So it's tough in that regard. And, and there's been people who, like, Joe Rogan, he's said dumb things on some dumb things on the podcast that people got up in arms about, and he was very easily able to deflect them. You can't cancel Joe Rogan.
Nah.
Beating a sexual trafficking allegation is tough. I think that's a really tough thing, to really try and nail down and avoid. Now, Marius, maybe you can hop in. Maybe you can send something in the chat in this one. Maybe because I've only seen a snippet of the article or a clip of an interview, one thing or another, but something that could that could be drastically taken out of context. He allegedly was doing an interview with some English publication that it was easier for him to move to Romania and do the business that he was doing because the women had like less of a say because they were more obedient to the man. I don't know whether or not that's true. That's the thing. If that's what you moved to Romania for, I mean, whatever. That's like a thing, and then all of a sudden you get hit with that allegation. That's a tough thing to deflect.
Yeah. So two things.
Talk about it. His PR team's got to do a lot of work.
Yeah, no. So I'll put my like so. Yeah, no, sex trafficking. That's obviously a serious allegation. I think it'll all come to light that if this blows over and he's still not allowed on these platforms, you're going to know that it was something bigger. That they didn't want him because they wanted to silence him. He was getting a lot of traction. Like I said, more views than Donald Trump and Kim Kardashian combined in the month of August. I think that was something.
Crazy.
That's something
That's insane.
It's insane. So I think once if this all does blow over or whatever the verdict happens between what happened, if it does find out that he's not guilty and he's still not allowed on these platforms, we're going to see that there's something bigger going on and there's something bigger at play here. So we won't really know until after, but so his view on women there, like the way he just said, like how he said, like he could do the business and women don't have as much of a say. So I've listened to him on podcasts before, and I've listened to the full, like actually hearing him in interviews. So what he kind of means is, I guess, like he said he's like I don't look at women as slaves, like or anything like that. But his view was more so from what I saw. I honestly, when you talk like that, it makes it seem like that, right? It makes it seem like. Okay, he just looks at women as inferior and he looks at them as slaves and everything like that. So when you pull a clip and you hear certain things or certain like things somebody says, and I think that honestly he likes to say things like that. I'm gonna be honest. I think he likes to say things like that to stir up shit. I really do. But then when you hear him break it down, he said he wants a traditional woman in the sense, and a lot of women got upset when he called women property, and he's like, well, let me break it down this way to you, and it was actually kind of interesting to see it. How he saw it. He said when a woman gets married in almost any religion, what happens at the ceremony? The father hands the daughter off as property to the man. And so like how he was breaking it down, he's like, I don't view a woman as a slave, but he's like, what he was breaking it down was when I say property, he's like, I don't mean it in the terms of she's a slave. She has to, do every single thing I say. But how he was like kind of breaking it down, once you actually listen to it, it's like, okay, but it's easy to kind of pick things apart, but I think he does say some things on purpose as well to kind of stir shit up.
He does it for like a show or just to start some shit, make the show more interesting.
Yeah,
probably not because he just believes everything. But here's the thing though, to add on to what Bill said, it is true that women out there, because he said at least I noticed that, and I was paying attention to everything he said in this podcast with this guy that he did, right? He said in the Western world are different. At least in East Europe it's a little different. He said, see, I heard something about Romania, but I didn't know he actually lived there. I thought he just goes there a lot. Now that I know that I'm hearing this is news to me that he lives there. It makes perfect sense now. Girls in those parts of the world, fear not like that, but it's like the man kind of, because they come from like very, men-based culture. Just like in here, but here in the West, things changed way before. Over there was communist in like Soviet Union, way before Russia existed the country, Soviet Union. We had Romania, Yugoslavia, Albania, and women had almost no rights at all those countries. That was just kind of being to the man, and that's it. So I get what he's trying to say, but for him to move there, he also could say that like women there treat the guys a little different, and it's not so much BS you see in the Western countries. He might like that more because he feels like he vibes more with those women, and he understands like maybe he feels like they're more loyal to him and do more work without necessarily saying that like putting no woman down. You know what I mean? Like maybe just like likes them more in the country. Maybe he feels like he has more freedom there because they don't bother him in America, which is ironic because we're like the number one country in the world for freedom. Again, freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms, yada yada. Then he's Romania, which the freedom is a lot different, but he gets to do what he kind of, what he feels like is right for him. Now, remember, he's not necessarily an American citizen, but he's British. He's English. I mean, England, USA. England is the USA of Europe. Can you agree on that? England is the USA of Europe. That's just what it is. Yeah. So it makes a little sense, like what you're saying, Bill. But, I mean, if he feels like here is more bureaucracies or in England, it's opposed to Romania, that's a lie. I could type right now. I don't need to entertain. I could tell to entertain right now. No, that's not true, bro. I'm from the part of the world. I would know a little thing or two. But because he probably feels like maybe he feels like more appreciated out there, you have to realize a lot of like big time names in American cinema culture, in hip hop culture, they like him more overseas than here. Don't ever forget the guys. You ever seen interviews with rappers that are like, yo, the legend's still shining out there. Here, it's like this climb we get forgotten quickly. So maybe he feels more appreciated there. But the case of Bean is like they like him here too. Just that they want to cancel him, I guess, around the world, but primarily in America and in his own country. So he feels like, yo, I'm moving here. He kind of did that little Edward Snowden move. He just moved away somewhere. They weren't going to arrest him, at least not yet, but they want to cancel him. He said, fuck all you guys, I'm going there. But this is before the whole canceling and taking them, the shadow banning, from social media. This is slightly before. So I just think he liked it there more because he felt like people there are easy to get along with. Here's plenty of opinions. Or maybe I don't understand. I don't know if you lived here, but, in England, here. Don't forget, the guy had money. He said, I made a lot of money doing, through kickboxing. So I already, like, not a lot, but he made a little to where, like, he was invested. He actually had money, which helped him set up the channel, become an influencer. And I didn't know he's that young. He's 35. I thought he's like 40, but he's 35. He's a little on the younger side. So
He's near your age, man. You're gonna be shadow banned next, George.
Yeah, next. I told Bill, he'll see them. They shadow ban me 5 times, bro. On IG, on IG, I just see IG's easy. IG be like, oh, I'm gonna take your post down. That's it. It's easy. All right, fuck all that. Facebook, that's where you gotta worry about all the problems. Facebook needs the ambulance. IG, not as much. IG people snitch on you and they say anything. Fuck you, unfollow, take you off my shit, block and all that. Facebook ain't get on Adam, but it's like people kept trying to find out where you work. Facebook is way too information. You don't need to know where I work. You need to know my birthday.
I'm just curious.
IG's more private.
I'm just curious to see how everything unfolds with this, like after the whole accusations thing, whatever the verdict winds up being. I'm curious to see if the verdict gets shown that he isn't guilty, and then to see what the action is next, because that's going to be really interesting, in my opinion. Like we'll have to wait and see.
Well, the verdict. Will he come back? That's the question. Will he be back on social media?
I mean, it's a marketing tool for him. I couldn't see why he wouldn't. You know what I mean? YouTube, Instagram, Snap. So he still already is a millionaire from all the stuff. He's a millionaire, but at the end of the day, he runs an online business. I forget what I think it's multi-level marketing or whatever. Whatever he does, I forget what exactly. Yeah, I forget what's it called.
The War Room.
The War Room. Okay. Yeah. So he has a business, and it's probably like you said, he preys on guys who are a little bit, weaker, who are going to buy into his product and everything. Like, hey, I don't knock a hustle. I don't knock the hustle. Like, whatever you got to do.
What you got to do?
So he makes his money from that, but he loses his social media platform, which is huge because that's how he can continue to promote his content and stuff like that. But I can't see why, if he is allowed to come back and they allow him to come back, then why he wouldn't.
Well, the question was, I mean, will he now that would he come back? He probably will come back. I don't understand why. They just abandoned him, but even unless he, just wants to have, he's probably like, yo, fuck you guys, I ain't coming back. But I mean, YouTube is like universal. YouTube is like where TV and internet and the phone and your computer and the television all kind of meet. I mean, is this YouTube, this platform we have? He'll be back, but will they allow him to be back? And would he kind of be seen like, how about this? They want to throw dirty man's name and shame and all that. How about you guys throw an apology? Oh, we're wrong. Maybe he didn't do nothing, Of course, they're not going to do that because people don't want to apologize because they feel like he's attacking everybody. So find the difference between attacking and telling things how they are. Now, I'm not saying I agree with anything he says. Some stuff maybe a little off, but I don't see him really, I mean, I haven't watched a lot of him, but to me, like I told Steve, I feel like Kevin Samuels was rougher on people. But he wasn't rough either. I feel like I can understand it'll be easier to confuse Kevin Samuels for like an a-hole, some kind of misogynist, a hater, than like Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate to me seemed like he spoke very well and he said a lot of things that are very true. He was just, to be honest, he didn't tear nobody down either. Not saying that Kevin Samuels tore everybody down, but he had a method where it seemed more like he was tearing people down, and he could have probably done things without being as
I would for sure.
He's actually more. He's saying that he's more knowledge barred. Andrew Tate's the one that's more like out there, so I guess that's how it is.
I would for sure say Andrew Tate was more aggressive than Kevin Samuels because Kevin Samuels did it from more of a calm demeanor, whereas Andrew Tate came at the loud, aggressive nature. I definitely think
body language, his voice, his tone of voice. Gotcha.
Yeah. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens because just how it unfolds on the censorship side of it. Like I said, like we talked about that here before, but like I said, anybody could. It's a serious thing, sex trafficking. That's super serious. It's as bad as like pedophilia. Like it's terrible.
Sex trafficking is one of the worst ones.
But the crazy thing is anybody could. That's crazy. Like that somebody can like point something and imagine somebody just says something about somebody who's like, and then like it goes viral and they make a call. Like I don't know. It's crazy. Like how somebody,
but somebody snitched. It seems like somebody definitely snitched, or rather painted a false information, a false narrative to try to take him down. Joe Rogan had some information on him. He was some old stuff. He apologized. He wasn't really. They make it seem worse. Whoever made that video and went and looked at all those footage, they just got time. They got people they can pay for like that. People to look for these people that want to the cancel culture people. They got people that like say I found this. It could have been a musician, it could be anybody that said that.
I mean, look. I mean, anyone for me, and I don't care who you are. If someone, I could wake up tomorrow and read in the news my headline, my name is being investigated for sexual trafficking. I'd be like, well, shit, well, prove them wrong. At least come investigate me. You'll see that, I was at a flea-covered house in West Philly the other day as opposed to, I wasn't trafficking anybody. You'll see that my life is very
exactly. Yeah,
So please come investigate me. I would want anyone who's accused of that to be investigated because that's such a terrible
thing
thing.
to prove his innocence.
Um, and honestly, and you know, it sucks to be accused of something like that. If you're truly innocent, at least let the investigations go on. Let them prove let you clear your name.
Yeah, talking before knowing things, it's not gonna get us nowhere.
And then be loud as shit about it if your name's cleared. You know. But
I could see him saying "fuck everybody."
But yeah, like I said, I totally get why he would get shut down immediately when an allegation like that gets hit, based on the people, based on like how young and impressionable a lot of his viewership is, and just some of the stuff that he said.
Like him. I like
You know,
definitely.
just for virality reasons. You know, like you said, he might not even agree. You know, he just says it to get a rise and go viral, and you know, but sometimes that brand of marketing opens you up to be attacked relatively easily. So you kind of have to like that kind of thought process to say, I'm going to say whatever it takes to make a viral thing. Because I've showed Steve just some things that he said I thought were just funny, where he's making fun of other people in the podcast. But in where you get a clip and he's like, oh, well, women are, you know, where you just get that little excerpt and he says, well, women are my property, blah, 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 blah. Then that goes, you know, that goes viral.
And then they run with that, right?
Around that all of a sudden he gets accused of sex trafficking. It's way easier to shut you down.
Headlines, bro, could work miracles. Like the guy said one time, he said, yeah, listen, you got to come up to me in jail. Yo, Dino, could do something? I need some cigarettes. He said, listen, dog, I know I'm supposed to be some kind of role model to you, some kind of bro, help her. The headline reads, I don't give a shit about you, okay? Walk that way. He says, come here. Let me give you a piece of advice. Get yourself a weapon. If you have to do what you got to do, he said. He's like, and also one thing, don't smile. So again, the headline, right? The headline reads one thing. The headline reads, Andrew Tate ain't shit, or he's a misogynist. But the truth could be something else. And if you take time to understand everything, you know, you come up with your idea. I mean, again, that's what controversy sells, because people want to, you know, they can't handle it, so they want to make it automatically bad. It's not bad. I mean, if there's things that like people disagree strongly about it, it's like, yo, come on, I mean, we can all disagree on it, then it's one thing. But even things that probably disagree on, it's like small things, like little tiny things that it's more like a matter of opinion, but it's like a bias. I don't see a sense of like ill will. I never really seen him really, to be honest, tear women down, but he tears down like the, what do you call it, like the unfair way of things, the uncertainties, you know, the false narratives that people, you know, society's trying to destroy everything, change it around, bro. Like guys like us, right now, could be considered like somebody watching this, possibly, oh, they're toxic masculinity, but it's not the case. We're just men that want to do the difference, you know. I don't think once you're a woman hater. I don't know that anybody, you know, is, you know, it's out there. Maybe they are. We want to bring no haters in this show. It's not, you know, what we're about. We're trying to, you know, build something about positive stuff and talk about things that, you know, need to be spoken on. But I mean, shit is how it is, man. You know, I mean, again, people don't hide the truth. They want people to be demasculated, you know what I'm saying? They want men, you know, we got the balls cut off just to speak and just be like, oh, well, yeah, it's like this. It's like you're in a bar. Let me give you a scenario, Bill. And Steve, you're in a bar, giving you any points, but maybe she's talking to you a little bit, but you can see by body language, she's not that interested. And then you have some simp ass idiot be like, yo, you're talking to her a lot. Where's the drink? Well, where's your drink? How about you pull up the money? She just said she's a man. She's still talking to me, but you buy a drink, Mr. Drink Buyer. Go ahead, like I'm just saying, bro, it's full of idiots out there, you know. They want to save. Be about saving women. Don't be about saving, you know, the ones that don't deserve to be saved. You know, speak truth, you know, things that they are. Double standard like a motherfucker. It's a lot going on out there, you know. No, it really happened to me once. I'm just like, I don't see a drink. I was like, I don't see a ring on her finger neither. Said, and I was like, I don't see you know, buying her a drink. Like, we have to buy a drink for her. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, see, man, sometimes you and even the weirdest guys, you know,
could do a whole nother episode on that.
Yeah,
well,
that's
a small little, you know, insight. That's a whole time.
Yeah, it's neither here nor there. I was gonna say.
I'm so sorry. Nah, don't be sorry, bro. You just bumped into me. Just say sorry. Oh, good. Smile a little bit. That's it. You don't gotta be like terrified.
Yeah.
It just shows weak character. But weak men, bro. It's a lot of weak men out there. Unfortunately, it's a lot of weak women too. So.
Yeah, just is how it is. So, guys, I guess we'll keep our eye on it and see what happens here. As I said, we're at like the hour mark, so probably wrap up the next couple minutes. Me and Bill are actually meeting a little bit, so that's what I said.
Yeah, we're tough.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna catch up in person. We do. I think I've said it on the podcast. You know, we do an accountability meeting, so we like you know, goals, business, any different things. So we'll always meet up and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'll probably wrap up next couple minutes. Guys, we're just honestly, so I just think we'll see what happens. I think that the statement what we'll really see is when everything comes out, whether he's guilty or not of what he's being accused of. If things show that he's not guilty, it's going to be interesting to see what the next steps are. if he's allowed back on those platforms and if he's not, and then what he does from there. It should be interesting. But it's a trending topic. I'm curious to see. Yeah, like I like some of the things he says. I don't agree with everything, but that's something I wanted to cover because I was like, some people were telling me they wanted to see this, so I was like, and this is big trending, so we'll see, guys. We'll see.
Thanks.
We'll
for
see what he kind of goes with the
a brief amount of time. This was a big one. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely, man. And that's right. That's for you, man, or for anybody. And any of the ones that, like, when I put the promos out, that it's an open forum, anybody can come in. Just shoot me a DM or comment in the thing.
Open-ended.
Yeah, absolutely.
But real quick before you leave, Bill, because I have a question real quick for both you guys. Speaking of cancels and all that, just two questions. Like, well, I mean, we might answer one of them, but it's you kindle and you can talk about it. So, what do you think? Do you guys agree with the whole like cancel culture in general? Like it doesn't have to be a yes or no. It could be like a little open question, but do you guys kind of agree with it? And tell me like why yes or no. And I'll say myself. I'll explain myself too. And also, what are some things that, in your opinion, guys, should actually qualify to be canceled, as opposed to things that is not really a big deal. If anything, you should be like suspended for like a day. Suspend Rogan 1 day. Again, he recovered one UFC, big deal. He came back after that, all good. So go ahead. So the question is, what are some things that you feel like should actually get somebody canceled? And do you guys agree with the whole cancel culture? Because these days it's different. See, cancel culture is one thing, and holding accountability if somebody fucked up is another thing. You know what I mean? So let's not confuse the two. So you can start. I guess I can go Bill because you got to go soon. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make it quick just to answer the question.
Yeah,
I think being canceled and not being allowed to speak in a public forum has its place. I'll use a perfect example for me is the dude who I'm not a Seinfeld guy. I think it's the guy who played Kramer. He was doing a stand-up one time, and he was getting heckled by an African American audience member, and he went on like a 5-minute rant about how essentially all African American people are animals. Like that's not funny. Like there was no one laughing the entirety, and this was back in 2003. Like this wasn't recent. Even in 2003, you get away with a lot. I watched the rant and I was like, there's nothing funny about what he's saying. He's just being a jerk. Like he's just being a racist dick. I think he has absolutely no people like that have no place.
That's different. See that?
I think there is a point where okay, fine, don't allow people in a public.
How did he get away with it?
Huh?
How did he get away with it? I mean, the audience was booing him. I mean, what happened?
Oh, he didn't get away with it at all. Ever since then, his career was done. And that was back in 2003, before cancel culture was a thing.
Almost 20 years. He hasn't been heard of. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll let you guys wrap up. I'll hop on off. Thanks for bringing me in, and I'll see you next.
Good example.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you, bro.
See you.
Thank you for chiming in, bro. Always good to see you, man, and to come in. I wish I can hang out with you guys, but next one.
Yeah, George. I mean, I kind of agree with Bill there. Like, it's just, there's no place for certain things. If you're warranted of being canceled, yeah, you absolutely, you. I guess if it's a severe thing, say somebody's like has a charge, like they wound up coming out that they're a pedophile or something crazy, of course, But I just think things with certain things, like they don't like the way people say things, and that's kind of like crazy. Like it's like the fact that like some people, they don't like the way he moves or the way somebody says something and they cancel him for that. I don't agree with that. Just short, simple.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my view. It depends. It depends.
If it's a biased opinion, a hateful thing, it's okay. Then by all means cancel it. Which is what I always say. See, we use cancel culture. Canceling stays not always a bad thing. We're just always talking about in retrospect, or like in a sense of like when people like Joe Rogan like try to cancel like big time celebrities. They want to cancel Eminem back in the day. They say he was full of hate, but then he makes a song with Elton John. So to prove that like, I'm not really this guy you guys think. I use some words, but I use them more like, if I'm using a certain word, I'm using them more like to say like you're a sissy, not that, not to hate on disabled people or fat people or gay people. He wasn't really fishing anybody. I'm sure he's went over sometimes and said some things he shouldn't have been said, but they wanted to cancel Eminem. They tried to cancel Snoop Dogg. Dolores Tucker wanted to cancel Tupac back in the 90s. So cancel culture is not necessarily new. It's just the new approach, and the way you do it is new. But controversy and being criticized and catching heat for things, man, who hasn't caught heat? I mean, like I said, I caught a lot of heat like last year. Do you remember that shit? You were there, Steve. You told me there was some people were complaining, but
I remember.
I mean, you could catch heat for the smallest things, but this age is like a phenomenon, and it's more. You know what it is, bro? It's more like susceptible, but it's more like seen. It's more like accessible. You can see it on Facebook. Like you go in, you see your friend's status, and you see all these comments, and then you comment, and people are like expressing their opinions. They get very strong opinions, and they get very like passionate conversation, very emotional. Like it evokes, and then people are writing paragraphs on Facebook. You'll save that, dude. I never been the kind of guy, dude, to write paragraphs to debates on Facebook. I've done it in the past. I'm like, nah, I can't even do all that. If you don't hear my point, it's cool. I don't need to write a whole paragraph. And you somebody I barely know like that, dude, get the fuck on my page. I'll block your ass, dude. Get out of here. You don't deserve to see what I'm doing in my life anyway. You're on my page.
Yeah, it's neither there.
I called out people out on Facebook on statuses. I did on the podcast before. I did on my own page. Like I call people out for being fake, for being like trying to be all watching my stuff and trying to be all fake haters. If you're a hater, you got nothing. I got nothing for you. Go out there, go left. Literally go left because you can't go left, especially with me. So go left. How about that? Go left your own. Leave me alone. If you leave me alone, it's going to be all good. If you don't leave me alone, you're gonna cancel me. You'll get canceled 10 times before that. So that's how I see it. At the end of the day, I don't feel like we've done anything to be canceled, and I don't feel like we never even were biased. Even today, I don't feel nothing was ever really biased towards Andrew Tate. I don't even know that much about Andrew Tate. I watched maybe 3 of his like episodes that he did on Spotify. I heard him. I didn't watch him, but I watched some stuff on YouTube. He had some dope content and all that, and of course he's a fighter, which is cool because I do fight, but. At the same time, he got a few things. He got to clear his name clearly. It's no matter what, when you tie your name to anything like that, in case it looks bad. If it's cleared, he gets a public apology for everybody. People should be uncanceled. You put him back on the shows, and that's it. Censorship is a little different. This is part of censorship, but you get censored for the smallest things days, just for having a shirt that they don't like, or
Exactly.
I don't know, bro. It's been rough, You need to take off a character of The Simpsons for being offensive. The one guy from the store.
I'm gonna wrap up, bro, because I honestly I have to go, bro. I have somewhere to be at 7, so I have to pop out. I know you gotta go to work.
I gotta go too. We both gotta go, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't want to hold up. You know what I mean? Like we're already like 10 minutes past, so
you're 8 minutes. Okay, we're minutes away. But yeah, this is our last credits.
Guys, yeah, I appreciate you all tuning in. If you have any comments after the fact, you're watching this after on the rebroadcast, feel free to drop some comments. We didn't get to play the actual intro tonight. I know we kind of hopped into this like right away, so we just played like the opening and then whatever. Maybe we'll play some on the outro or something like that. But guys, if you're watching on YouTube, I know it's at the end here, but you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, turn notifications on. We release episodes every single week. You don't want to miss it. If you're watching on Facebook, smash the like button. And if you're watching the rebroadcast, we appreciate everyone that commented in tonight, which means Bill, Marius, Desiree commented in as well. Then you got Todd.
People watching. People
everybody's
definitely
watching. We appreciate you all commenting in. And if you're watching the rebroadcast, feel free to comment in as well. Guys, and I hope you enjoyed this content. We're 3 away from the big 100.
Big 100.
I'm excited for and then
Big
in
100.
2 episodes, we're planning to maybe keep a sneak peek. Just keep your eyes open. We got some exciting content coming into September and October. We may be having another after hours episode in 2 weeks, which means it'll be a late night It's going to be a controversial relationships, dating relationships episode.
Could be one of those. Yeah, definitely. Could be one of the topics. We do them after hours, guys. Kids are asleep. Everybody's in school the next day. We do it on Thursday night.
Gotta keep it spicy.
9 o'clock. It might be number 99, so it might be 2 weeks. 97 is this week. We got 98, 99. It might be that one, but we'll keep you guys.
100 is going to be exciting. So, we're going to invite back everyone that's been on the podcast since episode 1. We're going to invite everybody in. So whoever can make it, can make it. We're going to try to work with everybody's schedule. So we'll try to see what day works best out of that week, or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, whatever it is, as we kind of get closer to that. So if anybody who's watching this has been on the podcast and you want to come on, we'll talk more behind the scenes. But
it's the alumni. It's the alumni strike back show. There we go. We'll call it the alumni strike back show. Episode 90, exactly. 90. No, sorry, 100. But this is like 97. So we have 98. 98 also, guys, is it's on the way in the works soon, so we could have 98 and 99. Yeah, we're excited. We're going to finish the summer pretty good, and we'll start fall in a good way. After all, the LinktR podcast was born in late summer of 2020. So COVID
late
times.
Summer, early fall, like around that area.
Yeah, definitely around that time. Yeah, so so we're happy we're here.
Yeah, we appreciate the support, guys. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up here. This was a LinktR podcast production, The Classic, your home for personal development tips, sports news, music, and more. Had our main man Bill come in tonight about back-to-back weeks with us, joining us on for a short clip.
Bill.
And got to do the episode with George tonight. So this is from Stephen G. This is a Locked In Podcast production. Guys, we'll wrap it up here. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Enjoy yourselves.
Enjoy, guys.
Eat some good food. Drink some good drinks.
Catch up with family, relax, have fun. Don't work too hard because you have to work
friends,
every day.
significant other. If you're going down the shore, cool. Like enjoy yourself, guys.
Hit the gym, at the shore, hit everything. Go to a vacation, all that good stuff. Call your ladies, call your fellas. It's gonna be a good one. So you guys enjoy your bro. Have a great one too, man. You could give me a call later. I actually gotta go to work in a few. You gotta meet up with our boy Bill. Lucky guys. I wish I was off, but next time. We'll get it together. Exactly. So it's been real, man. It's been real. I like this one. So hopefully we'll see what goes on, and we'll do maybe like some we'll re-mention things. Not go back, but we'll do some re-mentioning of stuff like this. So
we'll drop clips of Andrew's tape, but we'll also keep our eyes on the case and see what everything that kind of happens here. But guys, with that being said, have a great weekend, a great Labor Day weekend, and see you guys next week. George, same to you, man.
Be true and be you. All right, bro. You too, man. Have a good one. All right.